and welcome. My name is Selena and welcome to Yoga for Moving Through Emotions. So emotions can feel kind of stuck or heavy sometimes, but they don't have to stay in the body. So in this class, we will physically use movement to move those emotions through. We're going to wiggle, shake, have a good time, and you're guaranteed to feel a little bit more clear and balanced afterwards. So let's get started. Okay, so for today's class, we're going to start by coming to a nice comfortable seat. I'm sitting cross-legged and sitting on a blanket. I invite you to do the same, or you can place a pillow or something of that nature underneath you. And then you'll bring your hands to rest on the thighs and we'll close our eyes. And just deepen your breath as you come here. And I'm going to have you open your mouth and begin to inhale and exhale through the mouth. And so by doing that, continue to breathe in and out through the mouth. We're just helping kind of ground ourselves in our body a little more. So nice. So now that you're a little bit more in your body, go ahead and close your mouth. And I just want you to really tune in and get curious as to how you're feeling. And whatever it is that you are feeling, can you just welcome it? Say yes to that feeling. Say yes to that emotion. Because when we really allow it to exist within us and bring it to the surface, then we can more easily move through it. Let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose together and a full breath out through the mouth. Blink your eyes open. Take your arms all the way up to the ceiling. Hook for opposite thumbs when you get up here. Reach, reach, reach through the fingertips. Lengthen through the sides of the waist and just give yourself a little tick-tocking side to side. Yeah. And then you'll open the arms wide, release the arms down alongside of you. And we'll come off of our seat, move the props off to the side, and come to meet me in a tabletop position. So bring yourself forward. Just move whatever you had underneath your seat off to the side. Come to a tabletop. And in tabletop, we have 4 nice, strong, sturdy bases. So 2 arms, 2 legs. Our palms are underneath our shoulders, our knees underneath our hips. And we're not sinking low in here. Instead, we're really alive, really engaged through the arms and through the legs. Toes are untucked for this variation. And now as you drop the belly, stick the butt up, look forward and up, you've got a little bit of a back bend. So nice. And then push the floor away from you, deeply round the spine, tuck the chin towards the chest, feel like you're pressing your heart all the way up towards the ceiling. And we'll take that a couple more rounds, inhaling, finding the back bend, and exhaling, tucking and rounding. And then the idea of emotions and moving things through the spine is so important to keep a nice clear channel from all of the areas of the body up into the brain, and then from the brain into all of our limbs, fingers, toes, what have you. So when we're moving through the spine like this, we're just clearing that channel, just letting ourselves be this open vessel of receptivity so that we can feel our feelings and so that we can allow them to move through us. Let's be here for 3 more. 2 and 1. So nice. And then when you come back to a nice neutral spine, extend your right leg back behind you and then lift the heel in line with the seat. All 5 toes are pointing down to the floor. You're reaching out through the heel. Oh, hi, Nala. This is my cat. She's joining us for this. Kick back through the heel and then look forward and reach your left arm forward. The left thumb will reach up towards the ceiling. Pinkies dial down towards the floor. And I want you to really reach in both directions. Get as long as you can. And then lower the knee, lower the hand. And we'll switch sides. So you'll take your left leg back behind you. Float the left heel in line with the tailbone. All 5 toes point down towards the floor. Engage through the low navel so that you stay really alive and engage through the arms as well. And now take your right arm forward. Reach forward through the fingertips. Reach up through that right thumb. Reach out through the left heel. Grow super, super long. Reach, reach, reach. So nice. And then lower the hand and lower the knee back down. Draw the knees together. Tuck your toes and then sit back on your heels. So I think we call this Yogi Toe Breaker pose. And it does feel like you're gonna break the toes, but I promise you're not going to. But you're sitting back on them, and if it feels difficult, we're in this together, and I just want you to take your right arm and just start to shake out your right arm, and really like flick the fingers as if you're trying to get water off the fingertips, and then shake the left fingers and shake, shake, shake. And partly I'm distracting you from your feet, but we're also literally trying to move kind of energy and emotions through us. So I want you to just really let go here. Shake, 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 let it go. Close the eyes if you need to. One more breath here, and then allow the hands to rest down on the thighs, palms facing up. Take a big breath in, and stick the tongue out. Good. We'll do that again. It's called lion's breath. So you breathe in through the nose, stick the tongue out, get all the air out from the low belly. Draw yourself forward, coming off of those toes, and then you can tap out the tops of the feet, because I know that that can be a little bit sticky through the arches of the feet. From here, sit back onto the tops of your feet. Walk your hands back. If this is where you need to stay and you feel the most sensation, by all means stay here, and you can rock a little side to side. We're now opening across the front of our ankles. If you want to bring your fingers even farther back, maybe float the knees. Let's let them have a view, Nala. The knees float up, and maybe you lift the knees all the way up. This is how you get your ballerina toes, but we're opening now through the front of the foot. So before we were opening through the toes, now we're opening through the ankle. So good, everyone. Bring yourself forward, plant the palms, and then lift your hips high into a downward facing dog. So your feet should feel a little different than they might have when we first started class. Everything is nice and open, and that gives us a really good connection to the earth beneath us. So pedal out the legs here, move through the feet even more, crack a toe if you've still got that in you here, and then when downward facing dog, a little bend in the knees, sitting bones super high. A lot of brightness through the feet. Look forward at the hands. Make sure they're still shoulder distance apart. And then let's come forward towards a plank pose just to measure the length of our dog. So we still want our shoulders over our wrists. We still want our heels reaching back behind us. The low navel is engaged. We're not sinking down into the shoulders, but instead we're pushing the floor away from us. And then take the hips high. Downward facing dog once again. Draw yourself forward to a plank pose, top of a push-up again. And now this time, tap the knees down to the mat. Good. Keep the neck nice and long, look forward. And you'll bend your elbows and dive your chest and chin to the floor. So your butt is still sticking up nice and high. You're looking forward. You can even wag your tail side to side. And then like an inchworm, lower the belly, point the toes, lift the chest, little cobra. Exhale, lower down. Press yourself all the way back into a downward facing dog. So toes tuck and hips lift high. Come really high onto the balls of the feet and walk your feet all the way forward to the top of the mat. So like little baby steps. You bend the knees as much as you need. And then when you come up to the top, hands will come to the shins. Look forward and lengthen, little flat back. Exhale, fold and drop the head. Push into the feet, draw yourself all the way up to stand. And then bring the hands onto your hips. So nice. You're going to take your right leg and step it back and spin the toes so that you're facing the right side of your mat. So I'm facing you right now. All 10 toes should be about parallel, so pointing in the same direction. And then from here, we'll take our arms all the way up to the ceiling. Drop the right hand, reach the left arm up and over, and just look towards the left. Okay, you're reaching the left arm up and over. You can lean back a little, lean forward, rise back up to stand, and we'll take it the other direction. So now your left arm's going to come down the left leg. Your right arm will sweep up and over. Left hand can come to the hip if that's more comfortable for you, but you're lifting up through the right side waist and side bending, looking up towards the ceiling. As you inhale, come back up through center. Arms come wide into a T shape. Reach out through all 10 fingers. And then bend the elbows, bring the hands onto the hips. When you look down at the feet, we're spinning our toes to be a little bit wider now than our heels. So we're in more of a wide stance. You'll bend your knees, slide the hands down the thighs till they come to the knees. And you're in this nice wide, we call this goddess pose. Go ahead and tick-tock side to side. Good, the arms are nice and straight. Next time you come through center, drop your left shoulder, look over the right, little twist. Inhale, come back through center. And then with the exhale, you drop the left shoulder, look over, drop the right shoulder, look over the left. Inhale back to center. Let's take it one more time on each side. Left shoulder drops, look over the right. And when we think about the spine here, we're just twisting through, letting go of any kind of gripping or emotions that might be stuck in the spine the other way. As you inhale, come back up, press into the feet, straighten the legs, reach the arms up, pivot the toes back to be parallel. And then from here, exhale, dive over the legs and fold. The head will drop. Fingertips can come to the floor, or you can grab for opposite ankles, but just allow the knees to bend slightly, drop the head any amount, give your head a little shake yes, and a shake no. You can even flutter through the lips here. Hands will come back underneath the shoulders, find a little flat back. And now walk your fingers towards your left foot, pivoting the toes. So you're in a low lunge now facing the front of your mat. I need to scooch my right foot back a little. You might need to as well. Low lunge, look forward. Spin onto the outer edge of the right foot. Reach your right arm forward in front of you, and then reach the right arm all the way up and cartwheel the arms wide so you're in a Warrior Two stance. In Warrior Two, our left knee is tracking directly over the left toes. The outer edge of the right foot is rooted down, and we're reaching out through all 10 fingers. Warrior poses are strong, so can you feel really strong in body and yet calm in the mind? Take your vision just out over those left fingertips. Stay for another breath here. Straighten the left leg, reach the left arm up and back, lean back. And then as you exhale, come back towards Warrior Two, so bend back into that left knee. Take your right arm forward, down and around, spin onto the back right toes, low lunge. You'll step your left foot back to a plank pose. Pause and plank, option to tap the knees down to the mat. We're looking forward, lengthening the neck, and then bend the elbows, come all the way down to the belly. Point the toes, lift the shoulders, look forward, and exhale, let that go. Press the seat back towards the heels as you tuck your toes, and then the hips will take you up and back, downward facing dog. And we always use down dog as a place to come back to, a pose that we know really well. Nice and symmetrical through the left and the right side, even weight between the palms and the feet. Head nice and relaxed, spine nice and long. So how can you find a sense of calm even in this posture that requires so much strength? Come high onto the balls of the feet. Walk the feet all the way forward again to the top of the mat, bending the knees as much as you need. When you get here, hands come to the shins, look forward, little flat back, and exhale, fold. Press into the feet, take the arms all the way up towards the ceiling, and then the hands will come back down towards the hips. This time you'll be stepping your left leg back. I'm gonna spin and watch you though. But so now we're facing the left side of the mat. Feet are wide once again. Take the feet or the toes a little bit wider than the heels, so we're back in this wide-legged stance. And then you'll bend the knees, slide the hands down the thighs to the knees as you sit nice and low. Option to find that little rocking side to side here, keeping the spine nice and long, the neck nice and long, and the shoulders relaxed away from the ears. Good. As you inhale, press into the feet, take the arms up and out. So you're like in a big star shape. Big breath in up here. And then as you exhale, you'll bend the knees, stick the tongue out, get all the air out. Good, so back to lion's breath. Let's do that again. Inhale, straighten the legs, reach the arms wide, maybe even look up. And then as you exhale, tongue all the way out, all the air out of the mouth. Let's do that twice more. Inhale, grow nice and wide, grow tall. Exhale, let it out. Last time, inhale, sweep up. Exhale. Good, talk side to side. Straighten the legs once again, hands to the hips, pivot the toes in to be parallel, and then we'll dive over the legs again for a wide fold, hands to the floor. This time I invite you to walk your hands back towards your heels any amount, so you have all 10 toes and all 10 fingers facing in the same direction, but we're just deepening the fold and dropping the head. Can you put more weight into the outer edges of the feet, lift up through the inner arches, through the inner knees, and then remind yourself to drop the head once again. Let's take a flutter through the lips. As you inhale, start to walk your hands back underneath the shoulders. You're going to crawl your fingers back towards the front of the mat. So for you, you're crawling over to the right leg. I'm going to switch out and meet you there. So you're in a low lunge. Scooch that left foot back any amount. Look forward. And then spin onto the outer edge of the left foot. Reach your left arm forward towards the front of your space. And then the left arm will come up. You'll cartwheel the arms, meeting me in Warrior Two with your right knee pointing forward. Look back at the left hand, just make sure it's still in line with the shoulder, so it's not way up here, it's not way down here, but we're in alignment. Make sure the left toes are at a little bit of an angle forward, and then we're really bending into that right knee. Reach through all 10 fingers. Let's flip both palms to face up, and then can you reach out even more through the pinkies? Good. Grow long across the collarbones. Straighten the right leg, reach the right arm up and back, lean back. And then as you exhale, come back, Warrior Two. Take your left arm up, forward, and down. Spin onto the left toes. Low lunge, planting the palms. And then you'll step it back into a plank pose. Always option to lower the knees. Push the floor away from you. Keep the neck nice and long. For a count of 5, bend the elbows. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're down on the belly. Point the toes when you get here, lift the chest, little cobra. And now this time we'll slide our elbows underneath our shoulders and come into a Sphinx pose. So my legs are long behind me. When I look down, my 2 forearms are almost like railroad tracks. They're parallel to each other. And I'm spreading the palms and pushing my arms down into the floor to help curl my chest a little bit higher. Close the eyes. Can you lengthen your ears away from the shoulders? Lift the crown of the head even a little bit taller. And then consciously release any gripping you might be holding in the low back. If you'd like to add on and make it a little bit deeper, we continue this sense of pushing down into the floor and now start to energetically draw the elbows back towards the hips, hips towards the elbows, and that helps bring your heart even farther forward, lifting the crown of the head even higher up. Good, let's take one more breath here. And then on that exhale, the elbows will go wide. You'll lower all the way down. Make a little palm pillow for the forehead and rock your hips side to side. Look forward, bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Press the hips all the way back towards the heels. Tuck the toes and take your seat high, downward facing dog. Once again, 2 hands, 2 feet. Nice sturdy legs, nice strong arms, long spine, and you just breathe. One more breath here, and then we'll take it down to the floor. Inhale. And exhale, and then tap the knees down. Take the knees as wide as your yoga mat. Let the toes knock into touch, and then send the seat back, coming towards child's pose. So you'll lay the forehead down, the belly down. And as you come to child's pose, you might be able to walk the arms a little bit farther forward out in front of you, maybe even a little bit wider towards the edges of the mat. And then you just keep encouraging for the low belly to soften, the low back to relax, the seat to stay heavy towards the heels, and the forehead down on the ground. As you're here in child's pose, can you notice if you sense any shifts in your emotions from the beginning of our practice to now? And can you really allow the shifts to affect your moods? Just staying gentle with yourself here for 2 more rounds of breath. And when you're ready to come out of child's pose, you just start to look forward and walk your hands back towards your hips. Draw the knees together and spin to come into a comfortable seat once again to close practice. If you like to grab a pillow or a blanket to place underneath you, by all means. Close the eyes, sit nice and tall. And then you can either allow your palms to rest down on the thighs, that's a bit more grounding, or you can flip the palms to face up, a bit more receptive, so you decide the energy that you want to carry with you into the rest of your day. And just start to notice any shifts that you feel from this moment compared to how you started practice. And can you acknowledge that it's you that created those shifts? Allow yourself to feel that change in mood. And then draw the hands together to a prayer shape at heart center, allowing the chin to bow into the chest, a moment of gratitude to showing up for your practice, to showing up for your emotions, and to showing up for each other in community. Sealing our time together. Blink your eyes open. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. You did wonderful, and I'll see you soon.